Ouch. It was a big ouch for Match yesterday, although it came back really nice. Bounced off the 40 week, which is akin to the 200-day. Not exactly the 200-day, but close to it. Hey, what's up, Rob? Happy Friday is right. Don't gotta watch this damn stock market. Oh, rained overnight. I didn't quite realize that. It's nice, man. Arizona's nice when it rains. Actually, I was talking with a friend of ours, Angie's, yesterday, and realized we only got about 3 months of summer in Arizona, which is really good. Like, never happens that way. It's pretty good. NASDAQ flat yesterday, ended up the day down a little bit, but off the lows. So backing and filling. I really could go either way. There's no easy direction choice from here. Match coming up, INS coming down to the head and shoulders. Talked about that a few days ago. At least mentioned it once. Haven't covered that one in depth. But a pretty clear long point there at 50, which would break the head and shoulders. And then it's right near a shorting point. So any major drop should dump us in INS. CTO pulled back in. Winnebago. Anik looking scary for a minute, consolidating the past couple days, 3 days, going kind of flat, better than down. JD Chipotle looking good. Go buy some tacos. Got decent tacos. DocuSign. Okay, not bad. Can't be too mad at that. Kiwi. All of our actionables here today. Transport's big jump this morning. Well, not really. But trying to maybe break a trend. Looks like it's been working on that the past couple of days. Nothing too definitive. Kind of a small line, but a line nonetheless. Higher low in place so far. We'll see what happens. That broadening wedge. Still some room to go. Docu again. ESNT. So no major moves here. Real page tighter and tighter and tighter on the right side of this chart. I love these. These are always, hate saying always, but these are always nice to see. Don't always work out, but nice to see. EPAM, NXPI. Sherman-Williams, good. What's Starbucks doing? Starbucks right down near the lows of that little flag thing. Looks like it's curling lower. Not very good for Starbucks right there. Tilra. Carvana already lower. Salesforce, CRM. Not bad against the trend line. Disney Head and Shoulders already broke the neckline. And so far closed above it yesterday. AMD also rolling over on the right side. We noted that the past little bit here. So far failed to go lower. It's a good bullish sign. Tilra, Huya, Amda, Intua. Booking.yeah, pulling in. AMD again. Stop it. I don't want to see the same stocks over and over. Twitter. Disney again. Go away, Disney. Twilio not very good. Definitely putting in a nice larger base here. Pulling in so far as much as 32%. That's about as deep as it should get, with air quotes right there. Carvana pulling all the way back. MDCO. Narrowing ranges. Bit of a distribution day. Not looking super great. Markets look like they're up a tick. DHI pulling in some. Not a lot of some, but some. MJ firmly at lows. Sand lower. Gold with a downside move today. Oh, nice little gap right there under the 50 day. We'll see what happens with that. And you guys down big again. I actually saw this towards the end of the day yesterday with that big wick. I'm like, oh, maybe I should buy some. I never did. Luckily, because we gapped down 7%. So I could be reaching a point of re-entry on something like this. If you look at just the charts, omitting everything else, what you have is a nice little volume expansion. It's not a tremendous amount of expansion, but it's elevated higher volumes nonetheless. And then on the downside here, these are all lower volumes, culminating in the day before yesterday with the lowest volume so far in a reversal candle. Yesterday, big volume, but we had a spike off the lows. So potential for this area down here to be an entry point for you guys. But again, this is a commodity. I think you should know more about the market it's in and probably not just trade it on that assumption alone. Or if you do, trade it really small. But I don't think I'm jumping in on that. Anyway, just figured I'd kind of mention that scenario. These are always interesting when you see things that look fairly clear from a buyers / sellers perspective, like good buyer, lots of buyers, less sellers. Doesn't always work out though. Okay, go check out global watch list. LVS up a bunch today. Earnings, don't think so. After earnings, okay. NDP, iRobot, Grub. Okay, beaten down, beaten down, beaten down, beaten down, beaten down. Anik, not beaten down. A little bit of a green candle this morning. That's interesting. Not super heavy on the volume, it doesn't look like. Beaten down, beaten down, beaten down, beaten down. Beaten down, beaten down. Really beaten down. So not too much yet, looking super exciting. What was that a minute ago? IIPR. Bouncing off the 200-day moving average a couple of times down there. I think we mentioned this could be a potential double bottom base, but I think it's way deep. Where's my 40% deep? It's pretty deep. Usually disqualifies it for a base when you hit 40. So this is really not a base. Although if you look at it, it doesn't really even break a base. A broken base would have to be undercut here at the $75 level out of this low right there, which is 75.56. So that would kill the base count. So far hasn't killed the base count. What's up, Ethan? Come on. Thank you. Let's take a look at some IBD stuff. Well, the market doesn't look very good. I'm going to take it early this morning, everybody. Just so you know. I got to get the kids to school today. Let me switch over here to my stocks profile. No sounds, Ethan. Okay. What are we doing here? Crude oil prices fall as Mideast rivals unleash these surprises. Uptrend under pressure. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's take a look at the big picture. I think we only have like 4 or 5 distribution days. Yeah, 4. Seems a little light for uptrend under pressure, to be honest with you. Lately it's been like 6 distribution days. Just to change the number of distribution days seems a little unorthodox. Maybe they're doing it due to all the recent corrections. That could be something, but I don't know if they say that. Of course, I don't read this column every day, so they could have said it before. Adobe traces a new base. Let's take a look at Adobe. All right, so it looks like it's pulling in. They don't have a chart of it. Solar Edge they do though. Oh. Apple and Microsoft continue to show significant relative strength amid the stock market volatility. Apple stock is trading just below flat base entry. And they don't mention about Microsoft. Oh, there you go. Microsoft is off 2%. Is about 2% off a buy point in a flat base of its own. We talked about that yesterday. Microsoft's flat base. I mean, talk about a best in breed stock if you're able to pick up Microsoft out of a base. This looks like it's in the middle of just a huge, massive parabolic run. I mean, let's just play stupid run here for a second. And let's pull TradingView up because their drawing tools are a million times better. Let's go to the weekly. Gosh. This is what Bitcoin may look like. This goes all the way back to 1999. But if you see, there's definitely a general curl here. If you try to get close to price action, you end up with that. Which is 2, 3, 4 years from now. Not to say that's going to happen, but look at how nice it's held this trend almost the entire time, underneath it a couple times recently, holding above it. This going all the way back to 2017, so 2 years now. Hey, what's up, Eli? You think you could do this in Microsoft? We can get a Fed pump for the next 2 years. End up in June 28th, up at 427. Get this nice curl on Microsoft. Interesting possibility. I know everyone thinks the world's going to implode, but that means the world's probably not going to implode. IBD was talking about Microsoft's relative strength, and I was looking at that the other day. Like, this has been a very strong stock. Really nothing. Look at the volume even. No one is selling this thing. Literally no one. You had a bunch of volume, active trading, all the way until we started really rallying here, which is in, I guess right about here is probably the line in the sand. August 2013. Look at the volume on the left of my cursor and the volume on the right. It's just a complete different situation. Just completely. They were. It's been declining since these lows right there, and then it drops off a shelf right as we break above those multi-year highs at 37. So this curl potentially taking us up to that's a log scale chart. Let's draw a different curl on that actually. I doubt it's going to go that high. So maybe something like that. Maybe you get to, so that's 230 in 2022 for Microsoft, which is at 140. If the curl stays intact, I mean, I don't usually take massive positions on these, but it's just something interesting to note. Man, they got a lot of stuff. Yeah, exactly, Eli. Chop can go for a long time. Yes, it can. Absolutely, it can. All right, let's see what's down here on the global list. Got Micron taking a hit this morning. Earnings? Looks like, yep, earnings. They don't like what they heard from Micron. NIO down a bunch. Also earnings. GNC down some. Now these are just down 3% or so. Roku, just no bounces on Roku. That's not very good. Looks like everyone's exiting that one. Beyond Meat. Ring, ACB. All the MJ stocks appear to be dumping. I haven't really looked at all of them, but there's AC, well, not all-time low, but breaking recent lows at least. MMNFF recent lows. Carvana continuing with the drop. Is NIO all-time low? It looked like it. Yeah, it's an all-time low. Yep. $1.87. When we were looking at it, when it was trying to pop, we were at $8. So, I miss you, NIO. We'll miss you. Tesla. That just popped on my radar right there. Let's see about Tesla. What happened with Tesla? Oh, wow. Right back, guys. Look at that. That's nice. 220 to 240 with a quickness. What happened to Tesla? Tesla China delivers soared based on insurance requests. I don't know what that means. I've seen a lot of bullish news on Tesla lately, but nothing from Tesla, but stuff about like its European demand is just insane. Norway demand is crazy. China demand is crazy. U.S. demand lags. So I don't know. But that is a nice and a large rebound we mentioned yesterday, potentially breaking this cup and handle that Tesla's been in with this move. And you could argue that would firmly break a cup and handle, at least in terms of it. Look at that move. At least in terms of it being a general normalized cup and handle, definitely is not with that type of a move, almost all the way down to the lows. But an immediate bounce back and on very big volume is very nice. 240 is the level that we kind of stopped at. So we had, looks like, big volume here from 230 to 240. There's some value seen right there. Arguably, you'll say between 220 and 240. Or it could just be an opportunity for short covering. It could be short covering, but you never do quite know. Let's go to Google News, look up Tesla for a bit. Come on. Tesla jumps on report Musk aims to deliver 100,000 cars this quarter. That was yesterday. Tesla's first big V3 supercharger expansion is already happening in Canada. 2 signs the Tesla killer theory may already be dead. There's no Tesla killer. China deliveries soared based on insurance applications. Oh, let's go look at that article. Some actual third-party verification of Tesla demand. Week before Tesla is expected to release third quarter delivery and product numbers, analysis is bullish. Wall Street consensus estimate is 98,000 new car deliveries. That's so awesome. 100,000 EVs being delivered. That's pretty dope. You got to admit, that's awesome. Drop in the bucket for the whole car market, but that's just super cool. After examining data covering China's automotive insurance registrations, we have high conviction that overweight rated Tesla can succeed in China. Teslas are among the only EVs that customers actually want to buy, even in a market like China where EV models are commonplace. Insurance suggests China deliveries were up 175% year over year. They better be. They just opened. Tesla's deliveries to actual people are still rising at triple-digit pace despite being hamstrung by import duties, a flagging auto market, and historical inability to tap EV subsidies. Yes. Hold on. All right, hold on. Give me a couple of minutes, guys. I gotta pump up my kid's tire. Let's go around the block. Hold on. All right, I'm back. It didn't take. He's gonna ride his brother's bike. The lower price Model 3 is driving most of the growth. S and X declined 25% year over year. Yeah, so you know what? Maybe with Tesla, we're in a situation where the Model S and Model X were the only thing that were, the only good electric cars out there. And obviously, you're paying $100,000 for those, right? But then you get a Model 3 and you can pay arguably 30 to 40% less for a top of the line Model 3. If you're going to spend 100 grand, why wouldn't you spend the 70 grand? And then you're going to have the people that want the Tesla that are just going to buy the bottom of the line. So that demand curve, maybe we're just in a lull between where the Model S and Model X. Let me draw this. Let me go to my super high powered drawing tool, Paint. It's just my thinking right now. And maybe, I wonder if people are going to start to think this, but so you have this kind of demand curve for the Model S, which has kind of been like this. I wonder if we can. So that's your demand curve, I guess, for the Model S. And then your Model 3 comes in with a crazy high demand curve. Basically like this. That's not what I wanted. Well, maybe it'll be like that. So maybe this is your Model S, and we're stuck right here in the lull between where the Model 3 demand, because the Model 3 steps in. I probably could actually move that over a little bit. But my general point is, we may be stuck in this weird situation right here where Model S demand is actually declining. This should be declining more, but my super fancy, high powerful drawing tool isn't going to allow me to edit this. So I wonder if we're in a situation where the Model 3 decline, or the Model S and Model X decline, is waning, So maybe more like this, you know. And then the Model 3, in terms of revenue and profit, is going to start outpacing, but it's going to take a little while for that to occur. People were used to the margin of the higher dollar car and the volume in which it sold, both just couldn't beat it. I mean, you can't beat the Model S and the Model X in terms of car profitability, and even demand is very hard to beat. But then when the Model 3 steps in with arguably very similar features, I mean, it starts at 35 grand, but not really. I mean, it doesn't really start at 35 grand. So but you end up with a situation where you have much less revenue. You almost have to sell 3 times as many cars to make up for the profit. And so I think we're going to get there. We're just in a weird situation where it hasn't happened yet. And so that's where this kind of kicks in. Lower price Model 3 is driving most of the growth. Tesla model sales. Yeah. US only, worldwide. That's not what I'm looking at. What's that one? That could be a good chart. What's that? This was made a year ago, so we don't want that. That was Tesla. Was it Teslarati? Should be called Elon Roddy. Model 3 sets a record in the Netherlands. I want to get a list of all the financials or deliveries. Tesla gets a buy rating and $324 price target from a Chinese finance firm. Wow. Pretty good. Germany's Car Connection Award. I'm telling you, man, Tesla's awesome. Tesla's ability to get top software engineering talent explained. Wow, they paid $220 a year versus $137 for GM. Cool. Well, anyway, I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but let's take a look at the market. 0.39% lower for the NASDAQ. Let's go look at the actionable list. Then I'm going to get out of here, guys. Got to get the kids ready for the school today. There we go. Okay. So actionable is kind of languishing a little bit here. Anik firmly up this morning, pulled back quite significantly. Court, Match.com, big down the other day. Looks like it's hanging on to whatever it's doing. Constellation Brand still looking pretty decent. Transports came all the way back down. Okay, ESNT pulled back in. EPAM, PFPT. So not a lot of bullish looking signs today. Probably just be a lazy Friday, barring any crazy tweets from our guy that tweets. And mentioned Starbucks looks like it was rolling over. Looks like we have a new, not quite a low yet. The low from the other day is slightly below where we got to. So Not much going on today so far, looks like. We'll see if we end up collapsing today or not. I don't know if we collapse today, but if the volume's any indication, um, we'll have another elevated volume day today. It's been fairly high the past 3 days. Can't imagine that would be reduced at all. I think there's a lot of people trying to exit positions up here, which is why you're seeing one name die, then the next name die, then the next name die, then the next name die. We have names like RealPage and Constellation Brands, which haven't died yet, but those may end up. Those may end up dying. We'll have to wait and see on that one. MJ names are dying, so we may end up in a worse market than we think. Maybe sooner than we think. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good weekend. I will see you on Monday, I hope, unless I oversleep. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.